What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Stellar Blade. It's back out, obviously coming out on PC, and I want to talk a little bit about that in this video. But because of that, there's been a lot of different interviews and kind of some like behind the scenes, right? Like unearthed info, which is pretty cool. Things like what was supposed to be in the game, more story content. The director, I believe, even agreeing with somebody saying, yeah, the story in this game is not all that good. I know some people disagree with that, right? Some people found the way they did storytelling to be quite good, even though I found it kind of be 50-50. But ironically, or the funny thing is, he actually says, like, well, that was kind of planned because they wanted more story content, and then because they couldn't get it all, in the right amount of time and all that jazz, they had to kind of resort to this way of storytelling. In fact, I believe he even said, well, because people like this form of storytelling, now they got to think about it, when it goes to the second game. But the one big thing I do want to talk about is that second game. Now, in their own stuff, they confirm there is a second one, and it's coming out in 2027. Okay, I made a video on that a few months back, and it kind of came out of nowhere. There weren't a lot of journalists, ironically enough, that were covering it. Maybe there was some anti-Stellar Blade stuff going on. But over this new press tour, the way that they've described it has been kind of interesting to me. I saw one interview where they talked about the hopes if they were ever to be given another chance, to work on a new work. I think that was the word, work was that word. So that made it sound less likely, but it's still happening, right? But it was just one interview where he was saying if we were ever given the chance and all that. So it's well, you have been given the chance, you are going to be doing it. But I found this one quote to be interesting as well. So the director said he hopes the Stellar Blade sequel will come out in 2027, but they are still in the R&D phase at the moment. He says they were preparing DLC, but the volume became larger than expected, so they will carry it to the sequel. They put all their manpower into the PC version, so they have not progressed so far with it. He adds that it is time to do some proper R&D and thinking about how we can show the vision of the next generation. It would be great if it came out in 2027, but there are only 3 years left, so I can only say that we'll do our best, but I can guarantee that it'll be a great game. Now, it's 2 years. I don't know where 3 came into play there, but you got, and that's the thing, okay? For me, and part of the reason why I wanted to make this video is I had said before, hey, getting the confirmation that you're getting a sequel is honestly good enough for me for a game like this, okay? And to have it, for them to say, I guess, that it's coming out in 2027 is even bigger. Now, I think I said this back in that original video, I don't think I'd realistically expect it to come out in 2027. I think that would actually be insane. You literally just saw the timeline there, right? So, we know that they've treated this game as a live service game, but it's single player, right? With all of the updates, the collabs, right? The crossovers, but all the outfits, the boss rush thing. They've added to this game substantially for a single player, just natural type game. They've added to it a ton in a year. They've also made a PC port, which you just saw. It took a lot of you don't just spin that out in a day with 2 people working on it. That took a lot of time. They were doing DLC, seems like that, repurposed into the sequel. Point being, the work on so you're thinking, okay, a literal Stellar Blade 2, how much work is done? It's probably less than 10%, maybe even less than 5%. The amount of time and the amount of manpower that's been put into it so far is very, very low because of everything else we just talked about, right? And that's okay. To me, that's okay because even the game came out last year. To say that you are going to get a new game in 3 years is nuts. That it just back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it would be the norm, right? You would expect that. Nowadays, you're kind of crazy for saying you can get a game out in 3 years. In fact, people don't believe you. And I mean, that's kind of the situation here. I don't think that's realistic. I don't think if they're just kind of starting it now, I do not see how you get another game out in 2 years. I just do not see how that is possible. So 3 years, maybe, mid 2028. And by the way, the kind of line of how you can use the next generation, it's going to be a cross-gen title. Now, whether it's PS6, PS5, and the Xboxes, and PC, and Switch 2, all day one, or if they pick and choose, right? Like they saw something in PlayStation. Shuhei Yoshida kind of founded that, right? I believe the director always wanted to make PlayStation games, so maybe there's some like favoritism towards PlayStation. Maybe they stay as a console exclusive, but either way, I don't think you get a game now for 3 more years. So you're probably in 2028, and you are almost definitely, specifically based off what they said, you are doing it for cross-generation platforms at the least. You might be doing it for 2 or 3 cross-generation platforms at the least. So still exciting, still great. The game is freaking crushing it on PC. You loved it. Almost hit 200K. Didn't, but got I think 192, 193,000. It's done really well. I would not be surprised if it sold 2-3 million units on PC already. So this game is, it was already a hit a year ago. It's a hit again, just as I said it would be. I'm pretty good at predicting things. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.